Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com. Today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge outdoor wall sconce called the Forged Vertical Bar Large. 30, 72, 87, two smaller sizes below this. Check those guys out too. This one's coming in at 24 inches overall height. That's 2 feet, so it's a very big sconce for people who need big sconces. 8 inches wide, 6.5 inches in projection. The mounting height, that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the middle of the electrical outlet box. It's going to go over just a J box like this, coming in 11.7 inches, so it's roughly a center mount. I want to show you more information about that, and how we do that is we're going to look at the installations instructions, PDF, right now. If you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on the right hand side of the screen. So midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions. Open that up for me. You are going to see a lot of good information there. You're going to see how the glass goes on, what the lamping is like inside, lots of cool technical drawings of this fixture. You're going to see what the back plate is like, and that's going to be really important for a lot of you guys because you want to see like where does it actually, this thing sit in the back. You're going to notice that it is a center mount. However, you're also going to notice that the back plate has a little bit of a wall built around it, and that's open on the other side. So that goes open against your building. It's going to let you run those wires anywhere you want on the back, and that's going to be, like I said, important if you guys want to move this thing up or down on that back plate. Lots of good info there. Let's move on and talk about glass again for a quick second. So, very heavy duty Hubbardton Forges opal glass. I get more into what opal glass is about. Very thick. You can hear that. It's not thin at all. So this is very protective of everything, really. Anyway, so getting into, and it's obviously covered on top, so water's not going to get in. But let's get into what's inside, because that is the most important thing for you guys to talk about. It's going to be using Hubbardton Forges. It's a cast porcelain socket, so very heavy duty. You can put up to 150 watt incandescent bulb in this. Remember, that's the standard incandescence we used long ago. Most of you guys, almost all of you guys, are not going to be doing that. I expect you to be doing LEDs, and because this is such a big piece of glass, you can use all kinds of LEDs. These two are the standard A19 light bulb size. These are LEDs, they're both. This is a phosphorus one, this is kind of a standard LED, and you'll notice they're about the same size as a standard 60 watt light bulb that we all grew up with. But you can do kind of tricks with these you can't do with that. So these I can find up to 100 watt equivalent if I'm really out and about looking. I can also choose the color temperature, which I'll talk about in a second. But if I want brighter than this, I would jump up to an A21 bulb, which I found this at my local hardware store in Vermont, which means that you could probably find it any place, and you can obviously find it online. So A21 is a bigger bulb. I can find this easily. This is a 100 watt equivalent Sylvania. I can find a 150 watt version of this if I want to. So it's really just a matter of what your needs are. You know, do you need a 150 watt equivalent of light coming out of this, or do you want to scale that back a little bit? But it's a very user-friendly thing. You get to choose the color temperature of the light when you guys are buying LEDs. Don't forget, I talk about it all the time. I tend to like the warmth of an incandescent bulb. That's the light that's coming down on my hands from these LEDs above. These are 3,000 Kelvin on the Kelvin scale. So when you're out looking at light bulbs, either in a store on the box, or if you are online, make sure you really zero in and look at those numbers. So 3,000 Kelvin is going to be that warm white. That's going to be like the incandescent light. That's great for residential uses. If you are looking for a cooler, whiter light, and that's called daylight, believe it or not. Daylight you would expect to be a warm light, but it's not. It's a white light. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin, and that's usually used in commercial situations. So it's really kind of up to you which way you want to go with this. So, but good. Circling back, if you guys are going to be putting this onto maybe a residential application, like a back porch or a deck, and you want us to dim this down, I would go for the 3,000 Kelvin, which is going to be the warm light. Make sure you buy a dimmable version of this and put it on a good dimmer that is set up for LEDs, and that's going to be pretty important. You'll notice Hubbardton Forge says they have a dedicated LED version of this, and people are always saying, oh, I want the LED one. Well, I just told you, you can put LEDs into the incandescent version, right? And they call this the incandescent version, but it all kind of harkens back to just a screw-in socket and bulb at the end of the day. But let's talk about that dedicated LED version. So that's for specific needs, very specific situations and customers. So in the state of California, they have a regulation called California Title 24, which means that you are pulling permits for new construction or renovation, and they want you to never be able to use a screw-in bulb like this guy, right? So what they're going to do is make you do this socket, which locks you into doing a very special light bulb that has these little prongs on top, which are always going to be LEDs or fluorescent. I don't even know if you can get the fluorescent versions anymore. No one wants them because LEDs are so good. But anyway, the California guys who are making you pull permits are going to have you do this situation specifically for that new construction or renovation. So if you're in that situation, check with your building contractor about that. Sometimes he'll actually have sconces that are California Title 24 that he'll just put up to get through that permitting process, and then he'll just, then you guys can order these guys and just trade them out. That's stuff you guys need to talk to your builder about. But I think that you should consider using that in that situation. If you are in that situation where you're pulling permits and that building inspector's coming out, then you got to go with this. No way around it. So there's also one other situation where you're going to be doing this too, and that's going to be if you are building a LEED certified building, residential or commercial, LEED, and that's for special tax credits for energy consumption or lack of energy consumption. So they're going to lock you into doing this too, and that's fine. It's great to do that. Plus, you get all these great tax benefits. So look into that. But that's like building from scratch. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I want to touch on Hubbardton Forge's glass for just a second. Hubbardton Forge's opal glass is not just another piece of white glass. This is actually hand-blown glass. All of their glass is hand-blown. And to begin with, it's actually a clear piece of glass to start with. And they come in, they blow a second layer on the inside of white glass. Then they come back and they do a third step where they sandblast the entire outside. So you'll notice when you get these in your hands, they actually have layers of glass on them on the end. You can see them on these two pieces, and it gives it this really soft, semi-transparent, kind of milky quality. It's a soft glowing piece. Really, really pretty. They're really obsessed about details at Hubbardton Forge, and a lot of people don't. I don't think they appreciate it out in the world, but you appreciate it because that's why you guys are here watching this video. There you go. Let's talk about something else. Same kind of idea. They only use aircraft-grade aluminum to make all of their outdoor lighting, and the reason they do that is because aluminum holds up better than any other material in harsh, extreme weather. When you go out and you're out in the world, look up and you'll see those jet airlines flying up there way above your head. They're all made out of aluminum for a reason, because it holds up beautifully, it welds beautifully, it doesn't rust, it's very light, and it's just the best material to use outside. So on top of that, they have developed these outdoor baked epoxy powder coats that can go over this and make them pretty much indestructible, and we're going to talk about that right now. So how they do this, you'll notice in the picture next to me, there's a picture of a woman, and she's actually shooting powdered finish at the fixture. And they take the fixture, let's say this is the fixture to begin with, okay? They wire it up with a wire here, a wire coming down. They run a small amount of electricity through it to make it positive. And what that does, it makes it attract everything around it. So when she's over there spraying little bits of powdered finish, what it's going to do, it's going to go over the entire fixture. It's going to get into every nook, every cranny, top, bottom, sides, the whole thing. They're going to take that fixture, they're going to put it into an oven. That's going to melt that down and make it into a hard epoxy shell. And it makes it incredibly strong. Because they do this, and these things have been tested in these wind chambers where they have shot salty seawater at them, basically, because that's what's going to happen on a beach, right, where a lot of these things are going to end up. They had to really do that to make sure that they're going to hold up for you. And because they have done that, they offer the best warranty for the entire lighting industry. And you can see that over on the left-hand side of your screen. Limited lifetime warranty for residential use, and check it out, and it'll really make you feel better about their products. Okay. Moving on from there, why don't we talk about our showroom in Vermont. We have over 350 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We actually have a What's on Display page on our website. It's over in the red tabs over on the left-hand side of your screen, so you can open up that and check it out. Showroom has also a clearance center. So clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's an amazing deal for you. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you guys are going to come visit us, do me a favor, bring a big SUV, if you can, if you have one, only because the boxes are set up for shipping. Measure everything you can think of. So measure with a measuring tape, measure your ceilings, measure counters, tables, distances between junction boxes and things like ceilings, because if you're looking, you want to make sure when you're looking at these things that they're going to be able to be used by you for your needs, okay? And then also bring an iPad. If you guys are doing a project and you have a tablet laying around at home, take pictures with that. take pictures, and you can bring that tablet in, and we can go through all those pictures together and look and see what you guys are doing, and I can help you out on that, okay? So when you buy your Hubbardton forged fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else does that. Some larger items, generally big things on pallets and custom things, are going to be non-returnable. We'll always tell you that on the page for it, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. And then on top of all that, we offer a rush program. So in order for you to get all of these different finishes, Hubbardton Forge doesn't stock. It takes generally about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. We can cut that time in half, and it is super, super inexpensive. A lot of people don't even know about it. If you want to know about it, the best thing to do is just drop me a quick email, sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. You can also call 802-446-2400 during business hours. And so I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time if you guys want to talk to me. And then you can email us 7 days a week at sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. So I think that kind of wraps things up on this. You guys have any questions at all, let me know. Thank you for stopping in today. Take care. Bye-bye.